Travis with Mowers Gone Wild. Probably wondering why I'm out here. Well, I got an old Ranch King I got from free this past summer, and it has the 4x4 hubs on it, the 4-bolt pattern, and that's exactly what Predator has on the back axle itself, and that's a 12-inch rem. So I'm actually going to get them rems off there. I got brand new 24s that I'm going to put on there. That way we can actually have some aggressive tread. Be taller tires, get some better rotations, and also in the front of Predator, I'm going to be going to a 10-inch rem and putting 22s on it. So it's going to be sitting on 22s and then 24s in the back, and the 22s should raise it roughly about 4 inches or so in the front, or at least 3 inches, and give me that more clearance that I need, with hopefully having not to rebuild everything in the front, as I love them front spindles and having the brakes and everything all now. It's about the only thing that's really held up for me for when I do whatever stupid stuff I do with it, and I haven't broke anything. So I'm just trying to keep it that way, trying to keep it stupid simple, but also make it reliable. Right now it's actually turnkey for the first time ever. I'm not having any chain issues, very few belt issues. Now it's just trying to get it more in tune for what I do. Being able to blast through the mud, being able to go trailing and be reliable. So that's what I'm out here doing. I'm going to be out here, I'm going to take my impact to these, hopefully can get them off without having to drag this whole thing up to the front. We already stripped a lot of the front end off this mower. We're going to be taking the motor out of it as well. Has an 18 twin that hopefully we're going to get running just for whatever build, or just to put on the shelf for when we need it. So that's just a little insight. We'll have some more videos as we go of the process, so look forward to sharing it. Can't wait. All right, so I got the Ranch King flipped over. I already got one of the tires off. I got the other one right here, already unbolted, ready to go. You can see here, again, it's that 4-bolt pattern there that I was looking for. Pretty much nothing else is really worthwhile on this thing. It has horrible steering and everything else on it. Here comes Matt on the snowmobile. So yeah, just ready to get this all plopped off and get some new tread on it. Let's go. Alright, so Predator is now up on jack stands and ready for some overhauls. We are going to be putting bigger rims and tires on the front. We're going to be putting some 10-inch rims. I'm guessing and most likely going to be welding that rim onto the 10-inch just to get it out a little farther, get just a little bit farther stance out away from the hood, allow me a little better steering, and I'm going to be putting it up on 22s. And then I do have a new set of rims that's going to be going on the back. I don't believe I'm going to weld them out. I think I'm going to be okay with the clearance. We'll see what it looks like if I try to put the rim onto that one, to just give it a little bit wider stance, but I think we're just going to bolt it right onto the axle the way it is. This thing's kind of taken a little bit of a beating this year. I've had a chain come off and blast off. My E kind of peppered it all. As you've seen in the front, my light bulb finally broke off right around the Christmas video. My ignition switch is finally broke and done, so I'm going to just leave it for the looks. I like that it fills the spot. Then I'm going to do some toggles to more or less start the ignition, and then to actually engage the starter, and then I'll have my tether to be able to kill the motor. So I should be able to run it all off that, just make them simple changes. I don't believe I'm going to change the front axle. I think just putting the 22s on it's going to give me about 3 more inches of clearance, and that will be, I mean, satisfying. We'll see how it does in the mud and everything. I'm just trying to do a couple things that I really noticed. I know a couple of you have actually wrote me to suggest I need to do something in the front because it keeps digging, and you guys are right. So I think some bigger tires in the front, and then also 24s in the back. It's going to make this thing look a lot different, and just obviously it's going to drive different, but hopefully for the better, to keep it up, keep it from plowing, and keep a lot more traction in the back to push it. The 670's been running great. I don't plan on doing no mods to it right now. I kind of like the sleeperness of it, that it's just kind of quiet, it's kind of loud by the looks of it, but it's a fun ride. I really enjoy trailing it and can't wait to do these changes and see what it really does. So I hope you guys are following along, and try to do a step-by-step on this. Alright, so I got about everything taken off Predator now. At least it's going to be coming off. So tires are off, the front, obviously everything's off, hood's off, At this point, I think I'm going to leave the front end the way it is, just do some adjustments to the brakes, bleed them, make sure I got everything ready. It looks like I still have plenty of pad and everything. The rear, I believe, only going to have to drop about an inch to inch and a half to be able to clear the 24s. Then I think what's going to happen is we're going to have these machined to where these will fit inside the new rim, welded in there. Then that way I could still have my 3-bolt little Chinese pattern that I'm not very happy with, but I love them spindles. They have held up really well. I've broken pretty much any other spindle I've ever put on this thing. I even put the cast iron. I tried doing beefier spindles, and everything kept bending with just how hard I run this thing. And just anytime I get any little bit of air and I come down on it, I was bending them, even when we reinforced them. So these have held up really well. I've abused the hell out of it, got a lot of miles on them. I'm happy with it. You can get them off eBay. It comes as a whole kit all together. I can try to find the link for that. I know someone asked me before. My rim was apparently rubbing on the caliper, but everything's still working like it should. So happy with it. So I've been asked before how I run the chain. So I do got this solid axle, more or less considered a go-kart axle. I think it's 30 inches wide. Made holes to bolt it up. I'm about to make an inch spacer, inch and a half spacer to drop it down a little bit to clear for the 24s. All the way up there would be where it starts from. It's going to be right on the torque converter, Series 40 that I run. Then I run the straight chain all the way back. This usually is going to be up here. Then I have this that's slotted for the way back up, that for the chain tensioner itself. So it's worked really well. Drilled some holes and everything all through this to help keep mud and everything out. It's just kind of a chain guard. It's not perfect, but it's helped a lot. But now that I finally got everything true, I got the chain true. I haven't really had any chain issues in a long time. Since when I first built this, I had the rear axle kicked about a 1/4 inch, and I didn't know it. And that kept causing the chain to get thrown, and everything obviously wasn't aligned for being the length of this. But finally, building this, having this proper, this has some float to it. There's some, can't really see that well in there, but there's some washers with a roller idler, a sprocket. I use 40 chain that gives it some play so it can kind of move back and forth as I go if the frame flexes at all. This thing's been reinforced the whole way through. I have angle iron all the way down. We have cross members. The whole front's been reinforced. I've tweaked this frame quite a few times already. And ever since we went through, I had Ed did an amazing job and went through and welded a bunch of steel on for me to reinforce this. So I have him to thank for the stability of this frame. Ever since then, I haven't really had many issues. But that's kind of what runs this 670. That's how the chain and everything is. It's pretty straightforward. The motor itself, I went to gopowersports.com and I ordered the 670 mount that I absolutely love. We went ahead, we had some welds down the side of it, welded it right to the frame, and then dropped the motor on it. Leaves just enough room that I can get in there, and then the original stock hole from the motor, I can get my hand in there to be able to bolt it up. Allows the motor to go back and forth. As you can see, I kind of had to offset the motor to this side to be able to allow the clutch in there, or torque converter, sorry. So that's just kind of the simple way we did it. We did extend. The only thing I've ever done to this motor is I did extend the exhaust. That makes it a little bit different sound, but not much. I kept melting the hood, so we extended that, and I haven't had no more hood problems. The gas tank, I just wedged between the panel, kind of where it went stock anyways, and then the other one goes here. I just got electrical work to do on this as well. But it's coming along. Front brake, I mounted up here. That's for down there, so that runs both of them. Works really well. I can just take my hand off the wheel, push down on this when I need to. It's better than trying to keep it down on the bottom where it's just going to get full of mud or kicked around or broke. So I like it being right up there. So that's kind of the progress I got going. As you can see, it's all torn down, but it's going to slowly get back together. I got 12-inch rims that are going to go on the back with the 24s, and then I got the 10-inch rims that are going to get put on the front. And then hopefully what's going to work is have these just welded on the inside of there, so I can keep the same bolt pattern and give me that little bit of offset, so hopefully I don't have to do no damage to the hood to be able to clear the 22s. And it's just going to offset the wheels off a little bit more to counterbalance for the height that I'm gaining. So because in the back I think I'm going to end up being out an inch or two with the wheels that I'm going to use an offset on as well. So but it's coming along. Hope you guys are enjoying.